Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Vrti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Vrti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Vrti Ayaryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Vrti Uvajjayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Vrti Saunam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhyayanti Yoginam Kamadam Mokshadam Chaiva Omkaraya Namo Namah. Namah Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chit Sabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnana Timirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Tirthankaro Jagatana Jaivantavarto Omkaranada Jinano Jaivantavarto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jaivantavarto Tirthachara Jagama Jaivantavarto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangaratene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Pakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupama Gati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Vande Kahun Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Ho Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darasanamay Khare Kayanyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nathiyare Jam netrate majjana natikaraka nathi vedaka are jani jakar moday nirajara bandate majamokshane. Om Namah Siddhebhyo. Om Namah Siddhebhyo. Om Sri Sudatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. Today is on January 30th, 2019, Wednesday, and we are continuing our class on Samaysar. On Samaysar class, we are on stanza 14, and stanza 14 is a 5 different points that they are coming, and those points we are discussing. We are on the point number 2 right now. That point number 1 belongs to the substance, means from substance perspective, a given substance, means soul substance, is separate from the other substances. So from substance perspective, it's saying. Then in point number 2, it is talking from modal perspective, but modal perspective is divided into 2 parts, the substance mode and attributive mode. So this point number 2 talks from substance mode perspective. See, 5 points they'll be talking. First point will be on the basis of a substance to be separate. Second point, from the spatial mode or the shape mode or the dravya paryay or the vyanjan paryay, solely separate from them. Third point, it will just say artha paryay, gun paryay, attributive mode. From that, the soul is separate. Eternal soul, eternal soul. So, first point was a substance. Second and third point was a modes. And now, fourth point will be divisional of the attributes are also not present in the eternal soul substance. So, first point is from the soul perspective. Second and third point from modal perspective. Fourth point for divisional of the attribute perspective. And fifth point, it will say that the soul is separate from deluding mode of this soul. So these are the 5 points that we are going to discuss about it. So out of which we are on second point, we are on the tail part of it, and we have lots of discussion occurred. And at the same time, we also have model chapter going on in Jain Siddhant Praveshika class on Tuesday. Both things are going parallel right now. So some of the things, some of you can have, some of the things could be repetitious, but it will be important because this way our idea gets really solidified in the brain. On the 14th stanza, it says from the faith perspective, eternal soul substance is over here and other soul is separate. So I don't have faith on the other soul because I have faith on my soul. Then comes the mode, the substance mode, the shape mode. I'm separate, the eternal soul substance is separate from there. Third one will be all the remaining attributes mode. From there, soul substance is separate. Fourth one is a divisional of the attributes. This is a knowledge attribute, this is faith attribute, this is conduct attribute, this is perception attribute. So divisional of the attribute and soul substance is separate. And fifth one, as we say, that from the deluding aspect of the soul, deluding aspect of the mode, soul is separate. So these are the 5 different ways they are telling us. So those things are present, but where is my faith? Faith. Where can I have the faith on all these things? So 14th stanza is from the faith perspective. 15th stanza, all these 5 points should be taken, but that will be from knowledge perspective. And 16th stanza, it will tell us from the faith, knowledge, and conduct perspective, how is the soul substance separate. So 14, 15, 16, 3 stanzas are kind of linked with each other. Having said that, we can come to the point where we were last week. Last week we were left over. So let's bring that one. And slideshow, current slide. So now, quickly going through the revision of that last week's things, that mode divided into 2 parts. One from the shape modification, spatial modification, Vyanjan Paryay, Dravya Paryay. Other is attributive mode, means all the attribute, their modes, or it's called Artha Paryay, or it's called Gun Paryay. And they both are having the two subdivisions: natural shape modification, alienated shape modification, natural attributive modification, alienated attributive modification. So we know that division, we have gone through a detail about it. So second point deals with this mode, Dravya Paryay. Third point will deal with the Gun Paryay. So now, we already have talked about this one. We already have talked about this one, so there's no sense. We won't go in detail. Now, essence of point number 2. What does it say? One can be human. Remember, the second point says that because of this Dravya Paryay, because of this Vyanjan Paryay, because of the shape modification, now I could be in the human shape, I could be in a celestial shape, I could be in infernal shape, I could be in a subhuman shape. So one can be human, celestial, etc. being. So my existence as a human, what are the things, what does a soul do, what does matter in the form of karma do? And so let's try to analyze that part. There is a spatial mode, shape mode, Vyanjan Paryay, Dravya Paryay, means everything is same. Means this is the mode occurring due to extension into space attribute because of Pradeshatva Guns Paryay. Every substance has some sort of a shape. So I could be in the human shape right now. Okay. Next thing means there is a mode coming from substance, mode coming from the soul substance, mode coming from the pradeshatva gun, mode coming from the extension to space attribute. So that mode is coming from that perspective. Now, this is called Vyanjan Paryay, but it is associated with a karma particle. It is associated with the fruition of karma. So that two things are together, and that's why this Vyanjan Paryay is called alienated shape modification. It is called deluding Vyanjan Paryay. It is called Vibhav Vyanjan Paryay. So that has given shape because of alienated form. I got a shape of a human being or celestial being or infernal being or subhuman plant and animals type of shape. I got shape. Now, so it has given rise to shape of human, etc. being to me, to the soul. Now, this mode, this Vyanjan Paryay, this Vibhav Vyanjan Paryay, this alienated shape modification, when that mode comes in association with the respective matter's mode due to fruition of name karma. Over here is a shape modification and I have certain shape. Over here is a fruition of the name karma. And both are coming together, and because they are coming together, there is a mode generated, and that is called asamanjati dravya paryay. Asamanjati means different substances together making this dravya paryay. Two substances, matter came in together, soul substance came together, and combined together, a mode occurred, and that is called asaman jati dravya paryay. Asaman means not same substance, two different substances. Here is a soul and here is a matter. So they are two different, that means asaman. And there is a mode occurring. Now, it means the alienated shape mode from the soul and mode from the matter due to fruition of name karma come together, and that gives rise to human, celestial, infernal, or subhuman body. So how did I get the human body? There is two things are working together. One is a Vyanjan Paryay, one is called the shape modification, and the other one is name karma fruition. So both combined together makes asamanjati dravya paryay, and because of that thing, I have the shape of the human body, and I am called human right now. So this is point number 2, is proving that soul substance is entirely separate from all those things. So that's the essence of the point number 2 that it tries to tell us right now. Now that we understand point number 2, we'll go to point number 3. Remember, before going to point number 3, quickly, we have to say we finished this modification part. Now we'll be talking attributive mode. Means soul has an infinite attributes, and those infinite attributes, they make their own mode at a given time. And because they make the mode, that's why it's called attributive mode. And soul substance is separate from that. So now to understand that part, we are coming to point number 3. Point number 3 is called stable or niyat. Niyat means aniyat means unstable, and niyat means stable. Niyat is a Sanskrit word, stable. So eternal soul substance is stable. How it is trying to tell us? Let's try to analyze the fact. It says, let's take the ocean. This ocean, in the middle of the ocean, it seems very cool, quiet, very nice. And this one, if you want to really experience this coolness and everything, you should do the scuba diving. Go for scuba diving. When you go into the middle of the ocean, you are in the near small island, and now you go inside. It's an extremely cool, quiet place. There is no hustle and bustle. Some fish, sea creatures are moving here and there, and it's an absolutely peaceful situation. That's an ocean in the middle that we feel. But the same ocean, when you come on the bank, when you come on the beach, and it is making tons and tons of noise, big waves, small wave, larger waves, tsunami, all kind of waves, they come and break. They come and break non-stop continuously. So from substance perspective, ocean is a very calm, cool, quiet, but there are changing modes occurring in that ocean. Changing waves are occurring in that ocean every second, and they are occurring day and night forever. This is the example given to us. For point number 3, for stable, for near, that this is unstable nature. It's transitory nature. This is permanent nature, stable nature of the ocean in the center. Having said that, what it tries to say, how is this example coming? Ocean has a high tide and low tide occurring constantly. This is instability form. It's true form by itself from modal perspective. So, do the waves are present or not? Yes, waves are present. We do notice that waves are present. And it's a part of the ocean. So, from waves perspective, yes, they are present. The middle of the ocean is quiet and serene. Very quiet, very serene. Nothing else is there. It's just peaceful situation. So compared to the serene nature of the ocean, the waves are not true state. Even though waves are present, but compared to the ocean, the waves are considered as non-true state. In place of a quiet and serene and stable nature of the ocean, then the waves, even though they are present, they are considered as non-true state. Remember, the existence of the wave is not debated. Existence of the waves is accepted. But compared to, there's a blackboard and I draw a small line over here. Small, not small, it's called line. I have drawn a line over here and line is present. Line is present. It has its own existence. But when I draw a bigger line over here next to it, then this line's importance automatically becomes less, even though it has its own existence. This point is so well stressed by Gurudev Sri in Pravachans on this stanza 14 that contrast to the other philosophies. When Vedant will say Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, means only the eternal soul exists and everything else is illusion. They are not present. Jain says, no, that's not true. They are present, But compared to eternal soul substance, their importance is less, and that's why we tell them as non-true state, but their presence is there. So that's a vast difference between those two philosophies. If you are coming in contact with the other people who believe other philosophies and that thing, and when the discussion occurs, and when you talk about the soul from the Samaysar perspective, from eternity perspective, from faith perspective, then you are going to say soul is a constant, soul is a stable, soul is a permanent, soul has no changes, soul was never created, will never be destroyed, soul is there forever. They will say, we talk to the same thing, we believe the same one. If you listen to the Gita, Gita will say the same thing, that soul is a constant, soul is eternal, soul is permanent, soul is immutable. So where's the difference? Why you Jains are making life miserable for other people? Because you don't believe into the existence of the mode. You just say Jagat Mithya. Means the modes never existed. Here we say mode, they do exist, but we make them secondary and thereby non-true state. While you are saying it is never been there, so it's not there. So these are the major differences coming. So, I'll advise you not to go into discussion because unnecessarily it will create animosity amongst your friends and acquaintances. If you're not been asked, don't volunteer yourself to say, hey, you know what, I would like to say what about Jainism and everything. There is no sense, because people will take something out of context and then differences occur, whatever. Okay, so having made this point, now point number 3 is, this is the example of the ocean it gives. Now the principle is coming. Remember in Jains, and this is a good advice. Hemant Bhai gave it to me this time when I was in India. He says, you always can give example, but you have to mention the principle first, and example should fit the principle. Now, because somewhere I heard the example which does not fit with the principle. What it says, and again, this is not to contradict somebody or some philosophy or whatever, but this is what the example is. It says, when you take castor oil, then it's a good thing. It's a cleansing agent. So when you have severe constipation, you need to castor oil. So now with the castor oil start working, and next day morning you have a good bowel movement and your intestines are clean now. They were filled with a garbage before. And now that you took the castor oil was quote unquote punya. And so that quote unquote punya auspiciousness removed the inauspiciousness, and so your intestine now become clear, means now your bad and good karmas are gone, and now you have samyak darshan. So the point was driven that auspiciousness is the one gives you samyak darshan. When we come to the punya pap adhikar, when we come to the asrav adhikar, it will say that auspiciousness is also bondage and inauspiciousness is also bondage. Both are bondage and they don't help in liberation or getting experiencing of the soul. So here example looks pretty convincing, but it doesn't fit to the principle. So these are when you give the example, you have to make sure that example fits to the principle and it just does not deviate from that thing. So here now we are coming to this point in which ocean is there, which is quiet, stable, and the waves are there, which are unstable and noise making and transitory. So now we are coming to the principle. It starts with the Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi. This is kind of a actually brand new topic coming up, which we have never touched before. So, second. So, Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi means 6 kind of infinite or 6 kind of finite or infinite increase and decrease in indivisible smallest part of a mode, 6 kind of increase, 6 kind of decrease that is occurring in the avibhakt pratiched of a mode. It's a long worded sentence. We'll try to break it down to make it easily to understand. Shat means 6, gun means activity, Hani means decrease, and Vruddhi means increase. 6 types of increase and decrease occurring in a mode. A given mode has a 6 types of increase and decrease occurring in its avibhakt pratiched, and that avibhakt pratiched is called indivisible smallest part of a mode, and we are going to define those things next slide. So simply it says in a mode there are some increase and decreases occurring. That's it, in a short way. Now what it means, what's a avibhakt pratiched? There's a brand new word coming in. Avibhakt pratiched is this indivisible smallest part of a mode. That is called avibhakt pratiched. Where is it coming from? So to understand that, we'll start with the soul. Souls are infinite in the universe. In the cosmic universe, souls are infinite. Atma Ananche. Then matter particles are infinite times 2. Infinite times infinite. Infinite square. Samay of 3 times are infinite raised to 3. Samay from past, present, and future. Remember Samay, we have talked one time before, and quickly we'll go through that. In the blink of an eye, innumerable Samay pass by. What's the importance of that Samay? One mode generates in a given substance. In yesterday's class, we defined Samay. We'll just define it right now quickly also. If you take 2 space points of the universe has innumerable space points, out of which you take 2 space points. Space point means that area cannot be further divided into 2, the smallest possible area occurring in a universe, that is called one space point. So one space point, and there's another space point. One space point, then the time substance occupies that one space point. Another space point, time substance occupies another space point. Like that. So in the universe, there are innumerable time substances are also there, because they're innumerable space point. Now we hold on to that on one corner. Now we just take the matter. A matter is divided into 2 and further into 2 and further into 2, and keep doing till you come to the smallest possible part of a matter which cannot be divided into 2. That is called one atom. This is not science atom. Science atom has a presence of proton, neutron, electron, quarks, and all kind of things. This is the even further down the line. So that atom also occupies one space point. It has a capacity to occupy one space point. Now, this atom is a matter, so matter has a capacity to move by itself. Matter can move by itself. How? How come this phone can move by itself? I took it from the table, I took it in my hand, I put it on my other hand, and I just dropped. So that I made it to move. No. This phone has its own capacity to move, and at this point it was supposed to go from point A to point B, and my both the hands, they are acting as a instrumental cause. The phone moved by itself. This piece of paper is falling by itself. It has it has its own capacity to move. That is because they have dynamism property. You may question that I don't believe that matter can move by itself. Then microscopically, if we look into the lab, when we look into the in the atom of the chemistry atom, in the science atom, and then, for example, if you take oxygen atom, then there are 16 valencies are there, and 8 proton and 8 electron, and electrons are circulating in the electron arc. Who is moving those electrons in the arc? They are moving by themselves because they have capacity to move by themselves. Macroscopically talking, there is a night over here and day in India. How is that happening? Because Earth as a matter keeps on moving on its own axis continuously. There is nobody going to move that globe. So macroscopically talking, microscopically talking, we know that matter can move by itself. So that matter, that when atomic particle from one space point starts with the smallest possible speed to go to the other space point. That matter, atomic matter particle present in one space point goes in the smallest possible speed, then the time taken is called 1 samay. Now I'm going to say what happens when it goes fastest. This atomic particle has a capacity to go from bottom of the 7th hell to the top of the 16th heaven in 1 samay. Also it can go fastest possible speed. We are talking smallest possible speed, and that's why it's called 1 samay. In that 1 samay, how many are there in the past, how many future, how many present, combined together is a third infinity is here. Soul, matter, infinite raised to 3. Then the space point of the space point of the space substance, they are infinite times 4, infinite raised to 4. Then comes how many attributes do I have it? Each substance, whether I am into the Nigod or I am Siddha Bhagwan, or there is a atomic particle or a major mass of the atom, or medium of motion or medium of race, space and time, they all substances, individual substance has attributes, and that many attributes are present in me and you and everybody. So day before yesterday, I got one WhatsApp message from somebody that Bhagwan doesn't give me anything. But then next sentence he says, but what can he give? Because you have so many things, so much with you. Bhagwan has no place to give you anything because you are occupying that many attributes within yourself, infinite raised to 5. That many attributes you have it. So you are complete. From substance perspective, you are complete. Bhagwan has no reason to give anything because there is no room to accept anything. It was very nice SMS, very nice, kind of meaningful. So that's a fifth infinite. Then comes mode of all the attributes. They are infinite raised to 6. modes of all the attributes present in the soul substance. They are infinite raised to 6. And then finally, seventh infinite is an indivisible smallest part of the mode. That's an infinite raised to 7. So if you think about the avibhag pratiched, this is that avibhag pratiched. One of the out of this infinite raised to 7, you take one thing out, and that will be called avibhag. Avibhag means you cannot divide further into 2. Pratiched means smallest part. So now that we understand what is avibhag pratiched, then okay, from the pictorial way, one made a point, but it still doesn't make any sense to you and me. What does it really mean? Well, what it really means, that means this is a soul substance, and this is a universe over here. This universe has 6 universal substances. This Siddha Bhagwan over here is observing every samay, past, present, future modes of all these 6 substances of the universe. Me as a soul, there are infinite souls are there, infinite times infinite matter particles are there. They all have a past, present, and future modes. Medium of motion, medium of rest, space, and time, they also have past, present, and future modes. So all those modes are seen means perceived by Siddha Bhagavan in one samay. And that is called principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship, or it's called nimitic sambandh. The knowledge occurs by this guy alone, by himself. The Siddha Bhagavan knows by himself. And all the 6 universal substances in the universe, they have the present, past, and future modes tied up with them. So they are knowable object, universe, and Siddha Bhagavan is knower. Knower and object of knowledge, and of knowing and object of knowledge relationship. It's a principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship. Now, what happens? One avibhag pratiched means, one avibhag pratiched means Siddha Bhagavan perceives all modes of 6 substances, their past, present, and future mode. In one samay, Siddha Bhagavan has perceived all these modes, past, present, future of every substances. Think about us only. Me as a soul, you as a soul. How many modes we may have passed by so far, how many we will have it in future? Infinite. And that kind of all the souls, all the matter particles, medium of motion, medium of rest, space, and time, all the 6 substances, their past, present, future modes are perceived in one samay by Siddha Bhagavan. Now, out of that infinite perception of those modes by Siddha Bhagavan in one samay, now, if we take one part of that mode, in the sense, let's say that I am sitting in Phoenix, that's my present mode. Siddha Bhagavan has perceived that mode. If you take only that mode of perception about me, I'm sitting in Phoenix at this time, which is 6:39 p.m. Phoenix time. That is my mode right now. Siddha Bhagavan perceived that mode, including all other modes. So that particular mode is called one avibhag pratiched. To make matter a little bit more complicated, now, I can't let you get out so easy, right? So one more complicated thing to throw in. Once Siddha Bhagwan has perceived the whole universe, right? Remember, there's another Siddha Bhagwan sitting over here. He is also perceiving all this mode, and third Siddha Bhagwan and infinite Siddha Bhagwans are perceiving these modes at a given time. And this present Siddha Bhagwan also is perceiving all the other Siddha Bhagwans, infinite Siddha Bhagwan, and their infinite Siddha Bhagwan perceiving infinite modes of the universe. Now you can think how many modes Siddha Bhagwan is perceiving in one Samay. Out of those total number of modes that Siddha Bhagwan perceives, you pick up one situation. It's snowing in New York, for example. That's a one mode. Siddha Bhagwan perceives, that's one avibhakt pratiched. Similarly, now you put the same thing in my mode, my knowledge mode. How many things I know about it, past, present, future, and so on. Now you are getting some idea what that avibhakt pratiched means. Having that point clear in our mind that avibhakt pratiched, the smallest indivisible part of a given mode, is a extremely infinitesimal smallest part, extremely subtle part of a undivided mode. One present mode right now has everything present, past, present, future knowledge and all kind of things. And that one particular point that you're picking up, that's called one avibhakt pratiched. Is that clear so far? Because this is a very important point to understand, and if there's a question, then we can just go in a little bit more detail and can try to analyze. But please make sure that we understand. Any questions so far?
No.
So, okay. Now that it makes sense to us, let's see the next slide, what it tries to tell us. In the smallest part of the indivisible mode, avibhakt pratiched, in those avibhakt pratiched, there is constant increase and decrease in the capacity occurring in that particular mode. That's called Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi. Once again, that bunch of avibhakt pratiched present in this given mode right now, there is increase and decrease capacity keeps on occurring. And that increase and decrease capacity is occurring. Yes.
When you say increase and decrease of capacity, whose capacity?
It means mode's capacity. Some avibhakt pratiched decrease, some avibhakt pratiched increase, and that kind of decrease and increase in those avibhakt pratiched occurs in that given mode for that particular samay. So I have my mode right now. In this mode right now, there are infinite avibhakt pratiched present. And some are having the increased capacity, some has decreased capacity, and keeps on happening every samay in those avibhakt pratiched. In the smallest indivisible part of the mode, all those changes keeps on occurring all the time constantly. Now, Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi means what? So, the increase, and the increase called Vruddhi means infinite time increase, Anant Gun Vruddhi, innumerable times increase, Asankhyaat Gun Vruddhi, numerable time increase, Sankhyaat Gun Vruddhi, numerable part increase, Sankhyaat Bhag Vruddhi, innumerable part increase, Asankhyaat Bhag Vruddhi, infinite part increase, Anant Bhag Vruddhi. Means these are the 6 ways the increase occurs. Now, it looks very Greek and Latin to us right now, and yes, it is, and ultimately we'll say why it is like that. But bear with me for 2 more slides, and then we'll have answer coming. So, this is infinite, innumerable, numerable, times, and part. So the infinite times increase, innumerable time increase, numerable time increase, and numerable part, innumerable part, infinite part increase. So these are the times, these are kind of increases occurs in those avibhag pratiched. Similarly, there are decreases occurring. Shat Gun Haani means 6 types of a decrease occurs. Infinite times decrease, innumerable time decrease, numerable time decrease, numerable part decrease, innumerable part decrease, infinite part decrease, and so these are 6 types of decreases occurs in the intensity of those avibhag pratiched in a given mode at a given moment, given samay. So these are 12 types of 6 increases and 6 decreases. They are occurring. Where is it occurring? In a given mode. Mode has all those changes occurring within. At a given time, I have one mode, and in that one mode, that one mode right now in let's take 10 modes right now, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, out of which I take the 4th mode right now. In the 4th mode I have it, in which every attribute is represented. Knowledge attribute is a knowledge mode, faith attribute is a faith mode, conduct attribute is a conduct mode, bliss attribute is a bliss mode, eternal existence attribute is eternal existence mode, and substancehood attribute is substancehood mode, and so on and so forth. All those attributes are represented in one mode, in one samay, and in those avibhag pratiched, in those indivisible infinite part. Some are increasing, some are decreasing in intensity. So that's what is occurring, changes occurring in a mode. Changes are occurring in the mode that way. Now, as I said, it doesn't make sense what it means. And Preeti, you also asked the right question, that it doesn't make sense. Yes, it doesn't make sense because this is the same thing coming back again. So, because what's happening, the Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi occurring in a mode. The Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi occurring in a given mode. What happens? It can be known only by omniscience knowledge. What we have is a mati and a sutagnan. We have perceptual and sensory knowledge and scriptural knowledge only. And in that one, we cannot understand all this increase and decrease occurring in a mode. Gurudev Sri said at one point, when he was pushed for it, 2-3 times the listener is asking question, but Gurudev, what about this? What about this? Why can we not perceive and this and that and everything? Then Gurudev Sri said, listen, we have mati and sutagnan only. We have sensory knowledge and scriptural knowledge only, which is kind of very, very small part of the whole schema of knowledge. In compared to Keval Gnan, this mati sutagnan is kind of very, very small in number, intensity also. If in this mati sutagnan, if I know about avibhag pratiched and all those things, then there is no need for me to understand Keval Gnan, because I'll be able to understand everything here. So Gurudev Sri said, this is the Kevali Bhagwan knows this part, and that's why if we don't understand, leave it that way. Except that changes are occurring in a mode in their avibhag pratiched. That's it. That's all you should know. As That's what Gurudev told us. So what's the crux of the problem? What's the message over here? Message, it says that even though increase and decrease occurs in a given mode, increase, decrease occur in a given mode, still the attributes, they remain stable and eternal soul substance remains stable. And this is due to this Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi occurring is due to a there is a power in the soul. It's called Aguru Lagu Shakti. There is a Aguru Lagu type of a attribute present in the soul, and there.
Can you say that again?
I'm sorry. Yeah. See,
Can you once again, just one more time, tie in Aguru Lagu Gun to this?
Yes. Aguru Lagu Shakti or Aguru Lagu Gun, which is present in the soul. And when we come to that 47 powers of the soul, then Aguru Lagu, I think it's about 18, 22, 21, 19.
But that's a Samanya Gun, right? That's a Gun for all matter.
No. This is Aguru Lagu Gun, yes. It is a Samanya Gun, but it is present in the soul also, and it is making these modes become increase and decrease in their intensity. Means in that avibhag pratiched, increasing and decreasing occurs because of this Aguru Lagu capacity present in a soul substance, which is a Samanya Gun, which is a common attribute which is present in all substances. Now, what is this Aguru Lagu? Aguru Lagu means, let's see, Aguru Lagu, it's coming next. Perpetual power. It's called perpetual power or Aguru Lagu Gun. Perpetual power means what happened that because of presence of this Aguru Lagu Shakti, the soul remains as soul, number one. Soul does not merge with the other soul or other substance of the universe. A given attribute of a soul remains constant and independent, does not become like the other attribute, or a given attribute of a substance does not become attribute of the other substance. A mode remains into the soul and does not go somewhere else.
So how is this different from Dravyatva Gun?
No, yeah, we'll come back. Hold it. Let's finish this one. And all the attribute, they remain constant in the soul substance, and they don't get scattered away. There is no increase in the attribute, no decrease in the attribute. They remain together, and this is the function of that Aguru Lagu Shakti. Having said that, how many functions we just said? Aguru Lagu, number one, it is making in the mode, making increase and decrease in their avibhag pratiched constantly, 12 different types. Then makes soul substance constant, does not become other substance, attribute does not become other attribute, mode remains mode, and attribute never scatter away, and you cannot increase attribute, and these are the function of the Aguru Lagu Shakti. Now your question is how it is different from the Dravyatva Gun. Dravyatva Gun has a capacity, its job is to produce one mode at a given time in any given substance. Case closed, that's it. That's all his job, to make sure that there is a mode generated. That's all his job. That's a Dravyatva Gun. Aguru Lagu, making sure that in spite of having 6 terms of increase and decrease in the avibhag pratiched, it's make sure that the attribute remains stable, soul remains stable, the soul does not become other substance, attribute does not become other attribute, attribute cannot get scattered away, attribute cannot be added.
Kirit, if you when we were doing the third Gata Samaysar with the Ekatva Vibhakta Atma,
Yeah.
is the Vibhakta character of any dravya, is that because of Aguru Lagu Gun?
Vibhakta means
Vibhakta means that it's separate. It does not turn into something else.
because it is separate from alien objects of the universe. Ekatva means, now, so for example,
No, my specific question is not just about soul. Just take any samanya gun, any dravya,
okay.
any dravya.
Okay.
Is any dravya vibhakta?
Yeah, any dravya means every dravya is ekatva vibhakta. For example,
It is. Every dravya. So is vibhakta from other so dravya, let's say dharmastikai is vibhakta from adharmastikai, correct?
yes.
Is that because of Aguru Lagu?
Well, you can say Aguru Lagu, definitely Aguru Lagu has its own activity present there, because it makes sure that you remain constant and you remain the way you are. You remain, you maintain your attributes. You don't give attributes away. You don't take any attributes in. That is what it is. Yeah. So you can say it's the effect of Aguru Lagu. Definitely, yes, you can say that. So this Aguru Lagu gun is very important gun. Aguru Lagu means the, over here what we say Aguru Lagu means it is the perpetual power, self-perpetual power, self-perpetual power, and that's called Aguru Lagu. Self-perpetual power is Aguru Lagu Shakti, and that is present, and that's why it's making this Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi. But even with that changes, this self-perpetuation power makes sure attribute remains same and soul remains same, and that's why soul is a constant, soul is eternal, soul is immutable.
So soul is nitya because of Aguru Lagu?
Yes, right now on this one, according to this, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So over here, so when we just said Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi, then now what's the principle we are deriving over here? Let's say now that we understand this point a little bit better, so it gives a principle now. In the mode, one perceives lowest strength like lowest form of life called nigod. In the mode, let's say I'm in a nigod right now, so I'm perceiving the mode, and that is a nigod mode right now. Highest form of mode occurs in the form of omniscient Lord. But the eternal soul substance remain constant without any changes. The modal form, lowest strength occurred and highest strength occurred, and this lowest strength is such that it cannot become lower, lowest and then go away. The higher strength, it's not such that now omniscient knowledge occurs and omniscient knowledge keeps on going more and more and more. No, it doesn't happen. It stops there. So eternal soul substance remain constant without any changes, and that's a crux of the discussion coming over here in this third point. In the mode, there are infinite small indivisible part of Avibhag Pratiched present. In the mode, 6 types of increase and decrease, Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi occurs, but the eternal self remained constant. So this is this third point Acharya Bhagwan wants to drive at us to tell us that eternal soul substance remains constant. These are the artha paryay occurring. These avibhag pratiched, increase, decrease and everything, lowest strength and highest strength and all those things, They are the modes of the attributes. So even though there is an increase and decrease occurring just like those are waves at the ocean, but still ocean as a remain constant, eternal soul substance remains constant. Then it says, now it tells us that soul has a one power, Shakti, called self-perpetuation power or Guru Laghu Shakti. Nature of this mode is such that there are 6 types of constant increase and decrease state, Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi, occurring in a given mode.
Your uncle, does this Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi concept occur? Does it come in Prachansar?
Does it come in what?
Does this Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi concept appear in Prachansar?
Let's see. As per I read, whatever I read, I have not seen, but that means nothing. I have not completely read Pravachan, so I can't say yes or no.
Okay.
But I think some concept will be there, especially in the Dravya Bandharan. It will be there.
Yeah, so the reason I'm asking that question is because Aguru Laghu shows up in Dravya Bandharan.
Mm-hmm. I think it is now long back I read, so I can't recollect completely, but I think it probably.
But for some reason I don't recall, and not that I know much at all, but from the little bit that Subhash Bhai talked about, whatever, in his discussion of the Vandaran, he discusses Aguru Laghu extensively. I didn't recall, and I could just not be forgetting, I didn't recall the Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi concept in the description of Aguru Laghu. That's why I'm asking questions.
No, because as I said, Gurudev has, if you just go on 47 Shakti Pravachans of Gurudev, each Shakti, he has given a long explanations of all those things. And when this Aguru Laghu Shakti came, he just talked about 10 minutes and he just said, rest of the things are Kevali Gamya, and that's why we are not able to understand. And so we just have to have faith that it does occur. Because Kevali Bhagwan, in his knowledge, has seen that, perceived that, and on the Omkar Dhvani, that thing came out, and Gandhar Bhagwan wrote down Gandhar Bhagwan created the Dwadashang, 12 scriptures, and that's where this is coming from. So he said, you have to have faith in this one. He said, I can't prove or disprove because I have no capacity, because I have a Mati and Sutgnan only, So having said that, nature of the mode is such that there are 6 types of increase and decrease occurring. This occurs due to mode's own capacity, but the eternal soul substance's capacity remains the same. Just because increase occur in the mode does not mean that soul is getting fatter and fatter, or decrease occur in the mode does not mean that soul is now losing its power and everything. Soul's capacity remains constant. Modal state is for knowing purpose, janne yogya. Now this modal state is there. That is modal state is only for knowing purpose. It is accepted. Yes, I have modal state. Yes, Shat Gun Haani Vruddhi is occurring, but that is for knowing perspective. But the substance state, eternal state, is for the adoration purpose. It is Adarniya Yogya. Adarne Yogya means it is adoration purpose, means I have to put all my available faith to the eternal soul substance. And knowing that modes are there, I know the modes, but I don't want to give too much importance to that. Mode is doing its own job, and I have to do my own job, is to put my faith on the eternal soul substance. So that's what this point number 3 is teaching us over here. Now it says, what's the capacity of given knowledge mode? How much knowledge mode can do? What it says, look at the fire. The mode does not become hot. Mode is looking at the fire, but mode does not become hot. In the mode, one perceives cosmics and transcosmic knowledge, but they do not enter in the mode. This mode has known the Kevali Bhagwan mode, knows everything. but it cannot have any affection or have likes or dislike for any mode. It's simply observing and observing. That's all it is doing it. So super mode is perceiving, but does not, that whole thing does not enter into the mode. Experiencing the eternal soul. Now we are talking perception of the cosmic and transcosmic. Similarly, the eternal soul substance is all experience, and that experience occurs in the mode, but that eternal soul substance does not come in a mode, only its experience is perceived. This occurs to be very confusing statement, but what it means that now if we separate soul as a substance and attributes over here and mode over here, so we make the three divisions. So mode's job is to know. So over here is a mode. Mode is perceiving eternal soul substance. This eternal soul substance is perceived in the mode, but eternal soul substance remains over here. Mode remains over here. Mode simply experiencing. There's a fire over here, and fire is perceived in the mode. Mode does not become hot. Eternal soul substance is over here, that is perceived in the mode, but that experiencing comes, but eternal soul substance does not come in the mode. So these are kind of divisional aspect to understand certain thing, but actually when experiencing occurs, it is occurring in the indivisible state. There is no division of the soul, attributes and modes, etc., etc. This is for our understanding purpose. Acharya Bhagwan has made this division for us to understand. So don't think that a mode is a separate thing sitting over here and everything. It is explained to us that understand that way, and then once you understand, then we have to try to focus in such a way that everything is indivisible inside. So this experiencing of the eternal soul occurs in the mode, but that experience, that eternal substance does not come in the mode, only experience is perceived. Same thing, this is due to knowledge modes, self and alien knowing capacity, Swapar Prakashak. This Swapar Prakashak is it's a huge topic, and someday we are going to take that one because it's an extremely important topic to understand. This knowledge mode is only the mode in the whole universe. Knowledge mode is only the one which has two functions. To know the self means the eternal soul substance, and to know the alien objects of the universe. Siddha Bhagwan, when he's perceiving whole universe at a given time, Siddha Bhagwan is also perceiving in his mode about his own eternal soul substance. So to perceive the eternal soul substance is a self-perception, and to perceive the whole universe, it's called alien perception. So self and alien perception capacity, self and alien knowing capacity, and that's why knowledge attribute and knowledge mode is given extreme importance, so much important that every stanza in Samaysar will say soul is a knowledge and knowledge is a soul, etc., etc., etc. It keeps on going for 415 stanza. Amritchandra Acharya is writing the critiques on that one. Originally, Samaysar was created 2000 years back by Kunkuna Acharya Dev in the Prakrit language. And then after 1000 years, Amritchandra Acharya Dev wrote critics in Sanskrit. When he wrote the critics in Sanskrit for 415 stanza, at the end, Amritchandra Acharya Dev said, wait a second. For all this 415 stanza, I keep on saying soul is a knowledge and knowledge is soul. So some person can think that there is nothing besides knowledge in the soul, and so person can get confused. So as a result, he put the appendix. In the appendix, he put this 47 powers. that besides knowledge, there are other powers are also present in the soul, like this aguru, lagu, etc., all those things. So soul has a swapa prakashak, self and alien knowing capacity. Knowledge of the self and alien objects occurs in the mode, but they do not enter the mode. Means the alien objects are perceived. Soul is perceived in this mode over here, but alien object remains over here, soul remains over here, and mode is simply experiencing them. So they remain their individual status, and so eternal soul substance remain as eternal soul forever. Alien objects remains their state forever, and only the mode is perceiving. So this is a capacity of a given mode. If this mode can know all these things, this is one mode which lasts for transient time. One samay, this mode has that much capacity. So can imagine infinite at the mode coming from the knowledge attribute. What's the capacity of this knowledge attribute? And this knowledge attribute, just like infinite attributes, are coming from the soul. So what's the capacity of this all-knowing soul substance? So that gives a magnificent idea about the nature of the soul and its attribute and modes, etc., etc. Knowledge mode knows the self and alien objects of the universe, but compared to the eternal soul substance, it is insignificant in nature. So, my God, look at one knowledge mode knows so much. Eternal soul substance completely knows about alien object, it knows completely, and this mode has all this knowledge occurring in one samay, but compared to eternal soul substance, this knowledge mode has no significance compared to the soul substance. For example, you have a factory, you have business which is making $1 million every day. And somebody comes and says, you know what, I'll give $5 million, I would like to buy your factory. Would you do that? This factory which is producing $1 million every day, would you be that dumb enough to sell that about 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 million bucks only? No. Because if one day it's producing $1 million, think about year-wise how much more it can produce. So if the one mode can occur, one somebody knows only this eternal soul substance which produces this kind of modes in infinite numbers. That's why the eternal soul substance has that much value. Instability or niyat is perceived in the mode, but compared to the eternal self, this becomes insignificant. Therefore, it's non-true abhutarth. This is keval gnan paryay. Acharya Bhagwan says, keval gnan paryay, I'm using word abhutarth. And there is a chill passes through the spine that, are you not talking this way? Acharya Bhagwan says, I know what I'm talking. Yes, Keval Gnan mode is important. Compared to eternal soul substance, that transient one samay mode is insignificant. And that's why I'm telling it to be untrue. That's what Acharya Bhagwan is telling us. That's what Gurudev is telling us. So, point number 3, what it says, the attributive mode orthoparyay of the soul is considered in this stanza, in this point. Attributive mode. Remember point number 2, what a shape modification was considered. Here, attributive modes are considered. Attributive modes modes can have increase and decrease in their intensity. There is some typo over here. Please ignore that. So attributive modes can have increase and decrease, 6 type of increase, 6 type of decrease. That kind of that's why it's unstable. But the soul substance remains stable and does not get affected. The changes in the soul in the mode does occur, but the soul is eternal and unchanging, stable, niyat in nature, and that's point number 3. Aguru Lagu Shakti, self-perpetuation power, will touch, because there are 2 points, 2 slides are remaining in this chapter, that are point number 3, that Aguru Lagu Shakti, and there is also Aguru Lagu Nam Karma. So that one should not get confused, and that's why Gurudev has not said, but I just put this one for our purpose to understand 2 things. One, Aguru Lagu Shakti means self-perpetuation power, and other one is Aguru Lagu Nam Karma, which is coming on the next slide. So let's go this one. So what does this Aguru Lagu Shakti self-perpetuation power does? It's a substance. Aguru Lagu Shakti is for which substance is maintained its substancehood state. So soul maintains its soulhood nature. Substance cannot become another substance. A given attribute does not become another attribute. Attributes never get dispersed from a given substance. Increase and decrease occurs in the mode, but the attributes and substance remain same forever. Self-perpetuation power's subtle manifestation is only perceived by omniscient Lord. So all those things we have to take by face value, whatever the Acharya Bhagavan has said, because it's only perceived by omniscient Lord. If we really want to prove that point, then Acharya Bhagavan says, yes, you can prove the point by becoming omniscient Lord, and you will know what it is. So,
Kiriko.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Doesn't Aguru Lagu have something to do with Drovya? Right? Utpad Vyay Drovya Yuktam Sat. Isn't the Drovya part of no? No. Okay.
Utpad Vyay Dhru Yuktam Sat, that's a Utpad Vyay Dhru Shakti.
So Drovya has nothing to do with Aguru Lagu? Because Drovya is part of Drovya is a part of
constancy.
It's constancy, and it's part and parcel with Astitva. So is Drovya possible because of this Shakti? Because of this Gun?
Well, the Dravya's existence, you can say, but then you can say also say that existence is because of eternal existence attribute. So Dravya means a constancy is also feature because it's the eternal existence attribute can make mode in the form of origination, cessation, and constancy. These 3 parts occurring in the mode, they are occurring independently and they are not dependent on each other, and that's what Pravachan 101 or 102 stanza says that way. 99 and 101, 102, three stanzas are like that, you know. So, no, the Aguru Lagu does this kind of, now, you know, actually, if you just think about it, of 47 Shaktis, they are interrelated to each other. They are not, there is no waterproof division in that one. There is a watershed area is there, that one power will be falling over to the other power, you know. So, for example, it says that knowledge power, and then it says consciousness power. What's the difference between those 2, for example? Very little, but with each power, Acharya Bhagavan is driving certain point. So, Utpatvai Drovyuktam Sat, then he is talking a lot more about Utpatvai Drov Shakti. And in this Aguru Lagu Shakti, it's mainly, it takes only this point that we just talked, this listed over here. They are from the Gurudev's Pravachan that I had taken it out, and that's what it says in it, you know. So, answer to your question, yeah, there could be some resemblance to other Shaktis also, there is there is no quarrel about it, you know. So now we know what is the self-perpetuation power does, Guru Lagu Shakti does. And for those who don't remember that part, there are 47 Shaktis are mentioned. And this is, I think, 18th Shakti or something like that, 18th or 19th. So each one has its own importance. And when we come to those things, what happens, Gurudev, this is the beauty of Gurudev's pravachans and everything. He doesn't wait all the way to the end of the Samaysar to mention about all this Shakti and everything. Time to time, he just throws those things in and says, by the way, our Guru Lagu Shakti means these things, you know. So that way we just get a flavor of a whole Samaysar in any given stanza. So Aguru Lagu Shakti, we understand that part. Now, Aguru Lagu Nam Karma means not too heavy, not too light, name karma. There is one karma, it's called Aguru Lagu Nam Karma. What happens? Because of presence of this karma, let's presume that I am a 500-pounder person right now. And I'm walking. I don't feel heavy. I walk just like normal person. Let's say I'm 250-pound person, and there's a 80-pound person walking with me. I'll be able to walk myself. I don't feel that weight. I don't feel heaviness. My whole system works normally. At the same time, I'm not too light, not too heavy in the sense. It's not like so heavy that person cannot move by itself, or so light that he just flies away into the whole universe. So this is the Nam Karma. It's called Aguru Lagu Nam Karma. So that is separate from Aguru Lagu Shakti. That we should keep in mind. Sometimes words are having limitation and meanings are a lot more important. So if we hear this word Aguru Lagu Nam Karma, Nam Karma is 93 subtypes. Total 148 types of karma are there. Nam Karma is 93 subtypes, out of which one subtype is called Aguru Lagu Nam Karma. Means I don't perceive myself to be too heavy or too thin. I can function myself normally because of this presence of this Aguru Lagu Nam Karma. So here we are finishing the point number 3, in which attributive modes are taken into consideration, and the increase and decrease occurs in those modes, but attribute remains constant and substance remains constant. That's in short one sentence about point number 3. Any questions so far? What's the next coming? Point number 4 is coming. So here we are finishing point number 3. Any questions so far? It's a lot more things we covered today, and hopefully, you know, you understand that point very well. I think you know it, everything you are understanding. But if there's question, then please throw that question right now. Either I explain everybody or I confuse everybody. So either of the one, I don't know which one is what, you know.
Well, I mean, it's I'll just speak for myself. I didn't really understand Aguru Lagu as well as I do now, because these other explanations I've seen of Aguru Lagu are not very clear. So.
Because, you know, there is very, very patchy things written. And, you know, actually what you say is so 100% right, because I mean, you know, when I was reading this part, I was not clear in my mind also. So I had to go through so many references from Dhavla and from Alap Paddhati and all kind of things. And finally I said, oh, now it makes sense, you know. So, I mean, because there is very less written on this one, but it is there. I mean, if you just go through the literature deep inside, you can find all those things out. And so, I mean, you know, because of at least taking this class, at least it helped me out to clear my concepts and everything. whether somebody else's concept get cleared or not, but at least I get benefits tremendously. So really thanks to all of you that you give me this opportunity.
One more thing, Kirit, and I'm sure you're right that there's no real connection between Al Guru Lagu and Drovya. But what I will say is that from what I can, at least from what I'm noticing, all those guns, Astitva, Vastutva, Dravyatva, Aguru Lagu, they're all kind of the same thing. You know, they're all just part of one. It's just a lot of renaming the same thing over and over again. Like one, obviously they're all small parts of Astitva. And so it's really nice how it all hangs together.
And remember, all these attributes are in the indivisible state into the soul. And Acharya Bhagwan has made purposefully artificial division to explain to us, but there's no water type divisions. There is a, what's the difference between a knowledge and perception, for example? When does a perception end and knowledge start? It is kind of flow. So you just say this part is perception, this part is knowledge, but it is a constant flow going that way. So actually, by doing this way, by analyzing each and every point this way, so it just gives us understanding about the total nature of the soul substance from different perspective, different angle and everything. And so there is a less amount of confusion occurring in our understanding. And if I ask you tomorrow morning, tell me about this Aguru Lagu, you may not remember, for example, but it is in the back of your mind that it is there. You may not remember word to word or anything. You may not remember definite, but you know the essence of it, zest of it, and that is very important. So the whole exercise is just to how my faith gets stronger and stronger for eternal soul substance. And when that faith becomes stronger, rest of the thing automatically starts going away. We don't have to force ourselves to go out of those bad habits. It automatically becomes secondary and it goes away. Anyway, okay. So we'll do the closing then, okay? All right. Ahopakara jinavarano kundano dvani divyano jina kunda dvani apya ahote guru kanano jina kunda dvani apya aho bhagavati matano javani ke gyan se suje lokalo sovani mastaka namo sada detahu dham. 9 times Namoka mantra. Jai Jinendra. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai.